It's like dropping acid. Shit's going to go down. It's going to get weird and intense, and the mundane will suddenly become sacred or unbelievably funny. On June 26, 2006, I was a broken and isolated man who no longer wanted to live, who couldn't imagine life drunk or sober, who just couldn't imagine living anymore. In fact, I was putting a gun in my mouth. When I look back at that day, I see myself in jagged fragments, pieces of me scattered around the floor. I knew my addiction was bigger than me, and I knew there had to be something in this universe bigger than it. A guy I know described it really well when he said, when I was using it, I was always putting masks on. I didn't even want to know who I was when I was using. I didn't want to face who I was and those hard truths. When I'm out on mile 80, I pulled off every possible mask that I might possibly wear. I'm getting down to the core of who I am. So there's that sort of dichotomy too, if you will. It's a different kind of misery. You really need to consider the difference between discomfort and pain if you want to get through it, I think. Because discomfort is something that's very acceptable and temporary. I think usually the miserable moments have come about because of weather. When I had been running it at the Zumbro 100 for about 24 hours and it was maybe 35 degrees and this horrible onslaught came out of the sky with hail and lightning and I ended up dropping from that race, what do they call it when you have hypothermia. I was pretty blue and my arms were just shaking. Everybody running this thing is a novel unto itself, and I thought I need to tell some of these stories. I do like that feeling of being exhausted, and I do think that sometimes it takes a good several hours before you're really feeling good running. Like, I'm not sure about the endorphin piece, although I will say when you go out and run for 6 hours, after 3 or 4, you feel like you can go forever, and there is a different kind of feeling, if that makes any sense. An ultra is an extended prayer, an offering of gratitude to be alive, breathing, doing this thing I love, this thing I was built to do. It's not the hardest thing I've ever done, not even close. Those are things we don't want to do. Funerals, prisons, divorce, dentists. The running I pay to do. We're just playing in the woods.